I'm almost parked to my spot here, but hopefully the quality's okay. A lot of traffic. Just waiting, patiently waiting for the promise. Where is the promise of old? The world shall mock continually, always did, will do. It'll do it tomorrow. Where is the promise? Where is this hope? While they do that, they think they're wise and have become utter fools, thinking they're smart because no one else can see. They literally believe they're wise and smart, and they be fools. Yes, praise Yahuwah, praise the Father, that he's made all stupid and all liars and all in disobedience. No one messes with him. So then he gives a natural picture for every spiritual thing and teaching and reality, which is the things that come from him, and no one else must come from him, must be given by him. Therefore, there is no prophet, there is no priest, there is no messenger, there's no false prophet that gives anyone anything. There's only false prophets that believe it comes from self and that they actually do things and save people, which they already prove with works. And then there's a few, those in Messiah, that are just doing what they ought to do. You know, anyone without Messiah can't do what's right and what they ought to do because they don't have a heart yet. So then he's proven all died and are dying and will die even naturally, as all die, even Messiah died. Yes, no exceptions, because the Father is the creator. He is immortal. He alone hath immortality. He possesses no other. He gives, but he alone has it. Alone, one creator, one Father. Messiah died. To not understand and believe this is to the person knows nothing. They're an enemy. To reject that Messiah died, not believe it. Immortal souls, nothing to do with darkness, light. Got to go away from them. They will try to corrupt you. They will try to take you down. Oh, too tall of a gear. So when someone's literally born, they weren't dying until they were born. The dead are not dying to who and what they are. They have to be born first. So then when someone's born, literally, that's the very second they started dying. Because if someone dies at the end, whatever their end of death, and that is the truth, who can deny it? Not even carnal man can deny natural things. Then the very second the baby is born, he or she is dying, literally. As we've probably even heard in this world, as soon as you're born, you're dying, like through a negative, like hopeless belief and heart perspective, see, without hope. So those born from above and receiving the Father's Spirit, those that don't even understand this the way they need to, if they're in Messiah, they will. I have the confidence the Father will give the understanding. They need to understand these things, but they don't understand it on day one. Why? Because babies don't know anything. This is amazing. You have to look back and he'll prove he got us where we are. Babies don't even know they're alive, not the way they need to see it. They can't even feed themselves. So someone grows up a little bit and goes away from mother and father and cleaves to his own wife. Right, married to another, married to a Messiah. For those that don't have a literal wife, this is the greater thing. That scripture applies. That is the real thing, not the lower thing. The lower thing's never above the heavens. Literally, it's not above the heavens. All in order. Globe earth, get out of here. Concave earth Christians, get out of here. Lying, deceitful, wicked workers of lawlessness. Using words like Father and things to trick people. Heaven is above. There is no below heaven. Some are below and some are above. No, the Father is above and all are as grasshoppers. But he's who and what he is above all man. That's the real meaning. But he's above. Messiah is above and not below a single man or woman. And I won't repent for being stern about what he's given me to see. I will not repent for good things he gives. Must repent for doing evil in the heart with evil intentions and desires and trickery and lies. That we got to repent for. He's above all names, but he's above for real. Father somehow does these two things, natural and spiritual, and they're one. That's how his law should be. The circle of life, the narrow path. Don't murder and don't murder. Don't steal and don't steal. There's two ways off the path. To the left of the narrow path, literally. This is not an accident. And you can fall off to the right of the narrow path. One way is wrong, and so is the other, but they'll look a little bit different. Here's a great example. Carnal Christianity that nails the law to the stake has nothing to do with the Father. Continue in this. They're teaching. It's what they believe. They don't care about anything yet. They nailed his law, the foundation of his righteous law. Therefore, they don't have the heavenly thing either. And if the lower thing's not understood, how will we understand heavenly things, Messiah says? He says he's from above, you are from beneath. Right, spiritually speaking, my words are spirit. You're carnal, I'm spiritual. They didn't perceive it. The Father's not carnal. Not a carnal man that he should lie. And then the other way, the right side of the path falling off instead of left, is to be a carnal Jew and only understand natural law and commandments is to be an enemy of the Creator with a wicked heart still, breaking all the spiritual law, the only law that really matters. That if it's not kept, there is no keeping any law. So then the spiritual and natural somehow connected and need to become one, and this is when it becomes good. The two shall become one. The heavens and the earth shall become one. The veil will be broken and separated. Heaven falls down on earth, it becomes one. Now it's good. But see, if we go any other way with his commandments, then the two becoming one with the connection. No one can literally steal and say they don't steal with their heart. Liars, wicked. No one can say that they don't steal spiritually, but they don't steal literally, but they steal with their hearts. And lying to someone is robbing them. Oh, it's stealing them. It's continuing to put them in captivity. All the law is spiritual. It's all one. To break one is to break them all. It's only a matter of the Father giving us the understanding of how it's connected and how we break all when we break one. So then both of those are a lie. But if someone doesn't steal in their heart, for real, Messiah and the Father give this power and understanding not to steal with the heart and the wisdom of what it means. And then they don't steal literally. Two are perfect now and become one. This is the right way, the narrow way, and it's very narrow. A little to the left or right, someone falls off the narrow way. And his narrow way is high above all things. So when someone goes off to the left or right, they're falling down, down they go. Spiritually falling, literally falling from right of his word, a high calling. Don't make anything up. It's a high calling, not a low calling. Something like being high above. So to fall is to go down. He brings all who are above in a delusion carnally. Pride, he brings them down. And all those that are brought low shall be lifted up. Messiah was lifted up. Messiah is in heaven, but spiritually lifted up. The greater thing. Crowned as King of Kings. But not in this world. Not in this world right now, in the age of wickedness, the age of lawlessness that it's always been. Not a king in this world, because to be a king in this world is to be a devil's child, the devil's children and his kings. They will fall hard. The more someone has risen in this life, the harder their fall will be. It's a promise. And the harlot has a greater fall than the beast because of the things it claims, because of this more severe deception of looking like something connected to his word. And it's going to be a greater fall for her. It's going to be be a harder fall than the beast kingdoms. And the throne of the beast gnawing on their tongues from all the fiery punishment and judgment for the sin they do. Perfect righteous judge of the earth, the judge of all peoples, constantly judging them. Every thought, deed, and intention from the heart, let alone literal works, things not seen, physical eyes, is seen, judged, remembered in this kind of way. Remembered, not remembering sins like a carnal man remembers for 40 years what someone did to them and has hatred still in there, hiding in there. But remembering in that what the works of what everyone does and seeing them. What's the title? Learning. So then when someone's born, they're dying instantly. And Adam is born, and dying he shall die. So he started literally dying. But this is teaching something. The Father is teaching something with the natural picture. The only way is to die to the flesh. And the sword protected and guarded the tree of life, because he doesn't allow perversion and darkness to go through. It requires a death. And this is the spiritual death. That's the higher thing that always was meant by the Father, just wasn't revealed yet, as he reveals himself in the ages of time until all know him. We can look back and see, for those who can see, that he's been revealing himself throughout the ages more and more. It's closer and closer. The day is coming, a wrathful, dark, gloomy day. The heavens and earth will be shaken. The day is coming. Fiery fury, vengeance on evil and all those who eat the unclean thing, the abomination in the mouth, shall be consumed together, all together, because he's the consuming fire. Scriptures are for us in Isaiah. Always true. Spiritually true. Will be true. All will be consumed. He'll manifest and show it at the end, like all prophecy works. That this is the end of the prophecy, but in between that time, it's working prophecy, always true working. True now. So dying, reckoned as dead, like the apostle says, but not literally dead yet to self. It's the process. That's the end result. That is the goal. That is what the Father will get his people through, to be dead to self. Reckoned as dead. But now we gotta go through what sanctification really means and start dying daily to self. The beast got to die. The old man, the carnal man, spiritually speaking. The flesh needs to die. And the more the flesh dies, the more rewards, the more doing good works, the more blessings from the Father for doing good works. The more someone dies, the better it is for them. Those holding on to their soul that haven't died yet, been reckoned as dead and are not dying, are destroyed and don't have the Father. They don't have hope. They don't see anything. Just pretenders. They're children that don't have attention. Look at the little kids. They need attention, so much attention. They're prideful. They're jealous. Want more attention. Yes, to not have the Father is to do evil continually. The lack of the Father is the problem. To not have the Father is to be in the devil's wrath. That is the Father's wrath. To not have him. They need him. It's like a little kid needs parents. If you didn't, there's not, he's right about everything. Even the family, the picture, the lower thing is lining up with the spiritual. Carnal people need attention. I don't care what those swelling mouths and hearts say. I don't care what grand lie they say to make themselves look like they don't need anyone. Trying to be tough, but they're actually weak. This is how the weak are strong. Those who have the Father, it's already weak, dying, giving up, forfeiting self, denying self. And so he makes them strong. They don't have to fake and lie constantly. For everyone that's carnal, they're lying every second they breathe, because it's a giant masquerade every second about every single thing. And every work under the sun is a masquerade and a lie. Carnal people need attention. And there's all kinds of divisions and delusions and tricks and lies, but all need the same attention. So they have to live a lie and do sin for not doing what's right. It's a punishment and judgment. Forced to do what the Father says mankind must do. Apart from him, they can do no good works. Zero. Time to believe Genesis. Time to believe that the intent of the thoughts of the heart is only evil continually. Genesis. Yes, it repented the Father because of the destruction, because of the judgment. And he's proving all things to be himself that first. So he's not a hypocrite. Patience, long-suffering, sorrow for the wicked, because he cares. So when he requires us to do something, he's already been doing it and is that. If that were not true, he would be a hypocrite. He wouldn't have understanding. But he is everything he requires. To the finest of details, no one will be able to say anything. He's already that and is being that first before he requires his people to do and become like him, who he is, his works, who he is. In his image, instead of the devil's image, the serpent, beast in Genesis, the devil, the false prophet, and the beast, and all who are his children are one with the beast, the devil. So they are beasts and false prophets and called evil. And beast also, church world has been delusional. They don't even understand the right words that they might even say sometimes. These things are just in the distant future just to get away with covering themselves. That's it. It has no understanding or care or love for truth. Zero. It can lie and try to play games and trick. It has no heart because there is no such thing as a heart without the Father giving us his heart. It doesn't even exist. They're lying continually. Their whole life is a lie and a delusion. Pretty scary. We also are in a delusion and deceived in Egypt. Now speaking of the good news and things to come, coming out of Egypt is compelling people to come in, doing what we should ought to do. We also deceived and delusional utterly before believing. So the moment someone's born and knows the Father, they're dying. Dying you shall die, Adam. For us, dying you shall die, the process of dying. 1,000 years, just under a day, 1,000 years. I wonder what this judgment will be like. 1,000 years. The age lasting. Contempt, shame and contempt. Or is it everlasting shame and contempt? No, not literally everlasting. Age lasting shame and contempt. 1,000 years. And Adam lives almost 1,000 years. Within the day you eat of it, you shall die. 1,000 years like a day like 1,000 years. So then Adam dies within a day. So all creation will die in this grand judgment. I don't know how that's going to turn out or be. I just know whatever he's given me as truth, as teaching, as a promise that all will die. And this is good news, actually. It's the best news there is. The firstborn are dying to self now because the moment someone's born, they're dying. Literally. Everyone dies literally. But when someone's born, that's the first second they started dying. If someone ends up dying, then the moment they're born, they're dying. Who can contradict this? No one. So it requires dying to learn and grow and get wisdom. But he shows this in the natural picture. That isn't the real higher thing in value. So those without the Father are just gaining worldly wisdom, carnal wisdom, serpent wisdom, worldly, serpent, carnal, devil wisdom. They're literally growing up while they're dying. It requires dying to gain wisdom and knowledge. But carnal, only worldly wisdom. Those who are born from the Father above are dying also, gaining actual wisdom from him. Spiritual, all things. From him, the Spirit of the Father. The natural man does not see the things of the Spirit of the Father. Just can't do it. No one could. Equally and perfectly, no one could. Without partiality, so no one can step on a stone and say I'm better than someone. If someone has, it's because it's been given. There was nothing they did about it to receive it by their own power. See how no one can step above someone. A mighty plan, extremely wise. It'll be more wise tomorrow or a year from now because of the fact of me not knowing what I need to know a year from now. He's already that. It's just to start perceiving that he's that. So it looks like getting wiser, growing up. It looks like more of his truth is true, but it's always been utterly true. We need to find out what it is. The only way someone can gain wisdom is to die to who and what they are. There was no way available. The tree of life was guarded by the sword, which is his word, sharper than any two-edged sword. You have to die to get to the tree of life. Start dying. But the meaning is spiritual. There is no profit in the flesh. Flesh profits nothing. So Adam didn't have eternal life. Neither did King David. As natural saints, as perfect words and perfect teachings that we need to learn, but naturally only. And that's not good enough. It needs to do it in the heart, and then the natural thing is good if we do it all the right way. Not murder in the heart and not murder people. That's how you fill up the law. That there was something lacking massively. Messiah came not to destroy the law and the prophet. Like I've seen the greatest hell sermon on YouTube. If you type that in, he reads it. He reads those words, and I'm like, no, I'm smoking from disbelief that it's this blind. It's not his fault, but he is blind and he's deceiving people. You know, it's true. But it's with understanding. What are we going to do? Shut up truth because it hurts people's feelings? You know, time to grow up. You know, kids get their feelings hurt quickly. Time to be mature. Stop caring about self and feelings. It's garbage. That's only good if everything else above it's doing what's right, truly. Without the above, without the Father and Messiah in us, garbage. It's automatically garbage because it's no understanding. It's carnal understanding. The knowledge so-called, the word knowledge there, so-called. Worldly wisdom. He made everything in word, man. It could go on forever and ever, connecting things. Spiritual is spiritual. He made the wisdom of this world foolishness. That's the carnal wisdom of this world, earthly, lowly, carnal. It's foolishness to the Creator because it lacks actual wisdom from him. It's doing things of its own, the devil's own. Everything of the enemy is 180 from the Creator. If the Father is actual love, what this really is, the devil is the opposite. It can only pretend to be love, but it's actually lust. Don't tell anyone. It's actually uncontrollable spiritual lust and literal lust. See, perfect love is not lust at all. Just because the world's doing perversion doesn't mean it perverts actual love in the right way. No, it does not. Just because the world perverts what love really is, the Father's love, doesn't mean there's a right way. It's just that if someone were to see it, they would call it perversion because that's what it's always been to them. See, to the impure, all things are impure. That's what that means. Showed me that. Everything that's good, they will just only with the darkened mind, blinded by the God of this world, will see it as dark also. If they see love from someone, especially a man, just the Father's love going out like a light, you know, like a tree to someone to get some shade from all the torment they're in. A woman will perceive it as perversion and lust. I've already been through it too many times. I've seen it face to face, literally. I've seen crazy, stupid things they start doing, even married women, man. Shameful. They want you to be a pervert too, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what real love is. They can't believe they're experiencing. So they just think with the dark mind that it's lust. You just want to have sex with them. You know, you can only pity someone that that's their only understanding. Talking about real things here. I'm not talking about anything I haven't experienced. That's who the Father is. He proves all things. So he tells us to prove all things because he proves all things. He's going to prove it at the end that all his word was true. He's going to manifest it, prove it, literally. Oh, that's what's scary. It's going to be literally manifested. I see it. Yes, that's scary to literally wonder and marvel after some beast, but that's nothing to me. We can know that. It's what's going on in the heart that's already been true always. It's already marveling and wondering after the beast. You know? So then I didn't know I was dead when I was born. You know, this is, why does everything fit so perfectly? A baby doesn't know anything. So nobody in Messiah, not even one, knew what on earth they were doing or what's going on, if indeed they are in Messiah. See how this would not apply to anyone but those in Messiah. It doesn't apply to anyone. I can't do anything about it. I would like them to know and apply to them. But for those that it doesn't, whoever that is, cannot perceive what we're speaking of, you know, and it's like a desperate need to help them. But so I see people who it doesn't apply to. I don't like talking of the Father and his truth like it doesn't apply to, but it's the best I could do right now. They will try to fit pictures in their life carnally to match what someone is saying. You know, it's not, they're doing the best they can, which is always wrong and carnal. That's the best they can do. It's the best we could do, is to just deal with the death that we're in before being born, you know, is to just make do with the death everyone's in. This is why they have to party, jump around, bucket list. I don't condemn any of that. I just see what's going on, that's all. There's no command to do this or do that. Not from here. I'm just seeing the desperate need to do these things with a false heart, confusion. See, it needs to party as much as it can because it has no hope. That's the truth. Let's see it. It's not its fault. It just has to do evil. The Father made it so that without his way, it has to be confused in evil because he does not accept evil and darkness. You're going to conquer it someday. You're going to flip death off with his finger and say, screw you. I'm just kidding. Something that powerful, though. Death, it's like speaking to death and say, loser, you can't touch life, my life. Death will not have victory, but life has victory over death. All death, physical and spiritual, anything that's bad, goodbye, wicked. But it needed to exist for the age of darkness, though, requirement. Someone trying to escape this truth will never understand it. You know, we just have to already accept it. So then everyone, this picture, you know, as every spiritual thing, there's a natural. This is how creation is speaking truth constantly, because it creates all things with meaning. It's just a matter of receiving what it means from him. The creation is screaming out all words. I fully believe every single teaching word the creation is speaking somewhere, somehow. So then being born, you start dying. Like Adam, dying, you shall die. You know, the presence of the Father is not in Adam. You know, it's hard time now. You make do with it. Sweat off the brow. You make do with death. And so then a carnal man is just in constant death. You know, death is not the church world definition of death for all eternity. He's good to the wicked. All are wicked first anyway. It doesn't torture them brutally, endlessly, you know, but it's still bad. Death is bad still. Very bad. It's to be in utter confusion. You know, depression. They call it mental diseases because their spirit is sick. They try to make pills and, you know, there's some power in it so that it can believe a lie. But it's sorcery. Yes, it is. What can't the Father heal? Nothing. Created the heavens and earth. Just because the whole world doesn't see him and receive this power doesn't mean it doesn't exist for a few. They should be believing it in his reality of power. What can't he do? Yes, blessings, yes, to heal someone spiritually, become alive, And when the spirit's getting healed, he can't heal someone, some disease, but you can't look to this world with this truth. You can't look to what it says and tries to prove. It's always in disobedience. It's always not believing. And if it were to see something, even darkness getting healed from something, whatever it is, like literally, if this were to happen somewhere, it wouldn't be perceived or believed. It would forget instantly. Yes, it would. Its darkened mind cannot believe anything that's actually true. It will want to believe a lie. And so the Father gives strong delusion so that they actually think in their mind there was some natural way, any other thing but actual healing, miracle. And then they're stuck in that, believing like a lie. Father's not in heaven going, my people, someone's hurt, someone needs something. Just, nature taking its course, evolution, chance. This one's going to die like this because I have nothing, no power, just an accident. See, to believe this is also to believe that he did not prepare a way beforehand, and has also has zero power from such turn away. To say he has no power from such turn away, they deny everything. All things they deny. They don't have him who denies his power for real. That's why we read that, because if it's an enemy, carnal, they will try to murder and attack you, destroy you spiritually at the very least. That's why it needs to be discerned. Everyone's going to be your enemy in this world if someone is a Messiah. I'm not speaking of what I'm not living. He's proving it to me. I'm sweating sometimes. 10,000 enemies to the left and right. It's happening. Don't even have to try. That's what's great. You don't try to be good. You just be what he becomes in us. You just ask for things and it becomes just as if like speak and there it is. It's there. Jonah gets a tree. Boom, it's there. That's what he does with our heart. Boom, it's there. Boom, you don't have to fake it anymore. Boom, it's better. And if it fails, it realizes it and repents. And then boom, it's better again because you acknowledge it. That's how he works. No screaming for healing. No healing. Stern judge, perfect. Behold his goodness and mercy. And let's not forget the severity of who he is too. Yeah, God of this world is soft, like mushy Play-Doh that's wet or something nasty and gooey. Looking good all the time means that he's going to have to be soft, look soft. This is a lie. This is evil. Father is a stern, perfect judge. So then to this world, that's the opposite. Father in his way will look evil to all this world. Well, his people have to go. Who cares? That is the evil, affecting the image of the beast. That is the great evil. It's masquerading to look good all the time because they're not good. To become I am what I am. No more. Not that it's cured in one day, literally, but no more masquerading, pretending to be good, trying to look good. This is what sin is. Deeper than that, but that is sin. What everyone's doing. See the children, they need much attention. They need attention. I'll get it someday. But those that don't receive his attention now, but only his fiery judgment, wrath, which is the devil, no Father. They're spiritually doing works that require attention all the time. Yeah. I can see that in self. Hello, that's what everyone did first, continually. Like to not acknowledge that is to be a liar. Does it go away in one day perfectly? That's not the way, but it needs to go away. It needs to die. Dying, you shall die, which means you grow more, you learn more, you overcome sin and death, actual sin and death. So dying is a requirement. You'll see it all over his word, death. His teaching everywhere. It's always been there. not knowing what dying in Messiah meant, no clue, no perceiving. Teach a baby what it is to die in Messiah, and the baby that's actually born in Messiah, eh, eh. You know, that's why it's a severe punishment that he has to show anyone who touches one of his little ones. Spiritually, they're drowned and cast into the sea with a millstone. Violence. He throws down Babylon, already true, let alone becoming true. Not that it never was true, so how all his prophecies were. Because it's a great evil to do that, so we have to be careful with everyone. Because babies or young kids don't know as much. It doesn't mean they haven't been born. Be careful, because everyone was that first. No one can boast they didn't know either. See, the carnal man has no understanding of this, and neither did I. Where it's always tempted to do the right thing. Oh, you don't believe what I say, therefore, and start attacking, start doing things, start filling up with pride. Start really seeing what this is. It becomes more and more foolish. There is no other way except slow but steady growth, slow and steady death, until the thing that's reckoned as dead dies. And that's to be at the end, to finally be really born, salvation, born, resurrected from the dead. The first fruits, first resurrection, first resurrection first. There's a resurrection, and there's a spiritual resurrection. There's a natural, and then there's a spiritual. The resurrection is on the last great day. See, if that's the only thing we could say with words or claim to understand, how could they be in Messiah? Because to be alive in Messiah is to be resurrected already now, before they're resurrected. Literally resurrected. Literal people literally die. There would be no hope without this. Messiah died so that we could die with him now, but he also died so that everyone's resurrected from actual death too. Not one or the other. And so this world won't actually believe the actual truth with belief and meaning and understanding in the heart of the resurrection. They will do anything but that. They could say right words. But look at what the harlot does on a whole. Most of them would probably just casually say that your immortal soul goes somewhere, and on resurrection day, just go back to where you were cast, then receive a body or something. And he throws you back, like judges you twice or something. None of this is foolish. What should we expect from this world? Harlot is the world, spiritually Sodom and Egypt, one with the beast. She rides it. So her teaching and her works are darkness still. Her is. That's what it is. It must be. They won't believe in the resurrection, because anything that's actually true requires being given from the Father to believe and understand it for real. Carnal will not, is not allowed, cannot receive anything that's actually true from the Father. There is no scripture in all of his word that says you cannot say right words. Now that happens a lot. That's what makes everything so deceptive. That happens a lot. They don't perceive even the right words they say. They don't even believe them. Perceive it. I don't see the works lining up. All died. What Paul, the apostle, is talking about is this death itself, spiritual. All died. The promise that all those who die will live. All those who are sold as destroyed shall be finding life. The only way. So the Father has promised for those that believe now, the promise of them happened to Messiah, the Father did, is a promise that all will die, because it's not here yet in the full. It has nothing to do with it not being true to come. Nothing to do with it. Just like I've been saying the earth filled up and multiplied, just because that didn't happen in one day, but it happened throughout the ages. It has nothing to do with it not being fulfilled one day. Look where we're at now. He's shown me this in spirit, that this is just one little piece of prophecy that shows something about the sign of the times, the earth being filled up. Oh yeah, there might have been 300 million people 2,000 years ago. Don't know, but something like that for the whole world. With where we're at now, 7-something billion. There was never 7 billion people 2,000 years ago. Not even close. So this prophecy just boom, like what looks like will never happen. Oh, in 50 years, look what I'll do. Boom. 100 years, look what I'll do. Boom. All the doubters from 500 years ago put to shame. That's how easy it is for them to do anything. This is a sign of the times. Just one little piece of it, that it's almost filled up. All the nations filled up the earth. Multiply like the command of Genesis echoes out through all time. It's not an option. The command from the King, from the Creator, from the one who's in control. Is it done through a lot of sin and evil? Oh yeah, it's done through even uncontrollable lust, It's the way it is. It's the way it has to be. The people that are in the darkness, if do we have a better way? What's wrong with you, Sorry, not of the world. Sorry, getting out of the world, left behind. You're being left behind. Their left behind thing is some rapture thing. Not happening. Only at the end, very end. There is no disappearing from the earth years before the end. The end is the end, and everyone will be there. Everyone will be here, except those that died, but everyone that's alive is here, right to the end, right to the 7th trumpet. Keep going. Revelation says no, keep going. In the middle of the 5th and 6th trumpet, he said, keep going. He hasn't come yet. Hello, church world. Even the literal letters confound them. But that's spiritual, though. Keep going. Endure to the end for each one that believes. Keep going. Because their end might as well be the last trumpet, because they're resurrected at the last day at the same time. So spiritually, go to the end. But it applies for the world, too. He doesn't come until the end. There is no pre-trib, post-trib, anything. There's only following Messiah until the end. That's it. Whatever that end is. That's all there is. So it's a pot of confusion in Babylon now. Just because Messiah comes in us doesn't mean not come for salvation. Scriptures teach it all over the place. The more I see that it's in there. Father does it through, he prophesied he would do it through man. In his word before Messiah was even born. Prophecies exist. They're all resurrected for salvation. That's the last great day. It's a very great day. It's a last day, in a way. Not literally last day and boom, there's no more days. Last great day concerning this age, Last great day of this nonsense. Beastly kingdoms. Worldly, satanic kingdoms. Last great day of this dark age. That's the end, but it's not like a literal end. You have to rightly divide. Like last great day, and now, and everyone dies forever. It's all the end. It's the end concerning this age, the end of this age to go into the next 1,000 years. The age of reward and age of punishment. The age of everyone in due time needing to die to who and what they are. Those in captivity are being led to captivity and going there. Those who fight by the sword, dying by the sword. With spiritual words, it applies for us. Now for Jews 3,000 years ago, carnal people, those who murder in their heart die by it and are murdered in destruction. Apart from the Father, they're in destruction. Those who deceive people and are in captivity, leading to captivity, are themselves in it and going there. The righteous judge. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, not man doing this judgment. That's the teaching giving us. He does this through the people, and the way you show this naturally is when the people do something. They go and destroy the gods, the Gentiles' gods. But this is being done in the heart through his people. Invisible things going on inside, destroying the pagan gods and hating them. And if there are some gods around in the house, yeah, okay, sure, that's the real thing. Go and smash it. It's not supposed to be there. If the heart is doing it, how could it have Buddha right in its house? Go and smash it. But that's the picture. That's the only natural understanding carnal Israel has. It's always doing it with the heart, breaking these gods. He says, don't worship any other gods. The whole creation dead. Whatever he says not to do, that's a revelation. I mean, to the finest detail. If man needs to rule over woman, all women, apart from the Father, have desire and are rolling over the man, doing it in the heart. So then he makes a woman a real woman and a man a real woman. We don't have the Father. It's Adam and Eve in sin, It needs to be covered. It needs to be uncovered by their own covering in order to be covered by the Father's covering. Forgiveness. Won't look on their sins anymore. They're naked. Remember them no more. Well, that is a promise for Jacob, his people. This is where, sin to have anything else but the truth and understanding, because the end is not literally here for anyone. So then it's a sin to live as if it is. It is a promise for the elect, whoever they are, but they can't live as if it's already here. It's not. It's a lie, which has nothing to do with the coming. Yes, forgiven. Now you got to go through judgment his way. Now you got to be chastised like a son or a daughter. Now you got to start dying like Adam. Dying, you shall die to self. Start getting to the end goal for real, no fakery. We don't understand this. This is his favor. This is the only way. So what is sin? Acting as if someone learns and is saved in one day. Sin, abomination of filth. Because that's a lie. Everything that's a lie is the doctrine of demons. In fact, there is nothing that's a lie that's not a doctrine of demons. All lies are doctrine. They don't come from the good Father above. They come from Satan, the enemy, from carnal men, people below. They know not what they do, but he's got me to the point that whatever understanding he's given me now, he's proving it with the works. I've seen the enmity and jealousy inside raging for being out of prison. I've seen begging to go to their church and worship their God. I've seen it said with desperation inside that it's trying to hide and wanting badly, which makes them look good, right? Oh, it's so nasty. Makes them look good. Makes them look like they care. But here's the real reason someone wants you to go to church so bad or get married so badly. So you worship their God and go in prison like they are. And so they can control you, see, and put debt on you. Everyone in prison is in debt. Sin is like debt. The nations are in debt. It's manifested that it's in sin debt. Stupid nations. They don't know how to clean up their debt. Don't try to fix the problem. Give them the word. Are you in the world and of it? Don't answer answer according to their ways of always trying to get you in the world. Don't allow it to happen, or else you allow judgment to come on your head. You say what's right with the heart, with truth, and judgment goes on their head. The wrath comes back on them harder. Don't let a lie slip by like that. What would you do, such and such? What are you saying? Are you a terrorist because you're not a Republican or a Democrat? Are you in the world and of it? Do you know what it means to be in another world? Question them back like Messiah did, with the righteous intention and heart, not to want to see their nakedness. There's a fine line between those two things. But this is what he did. And that's why we can read it for our admonition. He didn't allow it to get stepped on like that, to get sin put on him, build a false foundation on Messiah. See, so that's doing it the right way. You will confound them, period, if you have the Father's Spirit and do what's right. They will not go any further or proceed any further, like I read. They will and must run away, angry and murdering your heart. Just know it. They have to murder you also if they walk away. They did it already with the heart. Okay, that's how much wrath they're in. It shouldn't jump up and down because they're in this wrath, but it exists though, nevertheless. Father, take no pleasure in the death of the wicked, the suffering of the wicked, the destruction of the wicked, the delusion of the wicked. That's what death is. It's all these things. So then anything that's a death spiritually, he has no pleasure in. Doesn't jump up and down. He wants to save everyone, and he will. His way. Not the little child's way. Nope. It's going to be mommy and daddy's way. Kid, too bad. Go to your room. Wicked children. Go to your room. The kid doesn't tell the mom and dad what to do. Just like the clay doesn't act for the potter. It doesn't exist. Only in a delusion it exists. With judgment, fierce fury, fire, confusion, severe confusion and drunkenness spiritually. For real, every time. Maybe leading to literal drunkenness. Maybe not. But spiritually, always true as a punishment. Ever true. Spiritually blind. He's showing the judgments in his power. You would think this good news so simple. People would everyone would just leave. No, he'll show you his scripture. He'll show you his word that it must be fulfilled in you. You would think everyone would believe. No, just a few, like we read. Most will not, and they'll hate you because of the enmity between the two. And we're not supposed to hate them back like they hate people. So how do you perfect this thing? Well, the whole world hating you constantly. Better start getting good at it. He's going to prove it. Prove all things. Nobody in Messiah did not overcome sin and death. But I always speak of anything that's real with no other false thing. Anyone actually in Messiah overcame sin and death. Father made it see it through. What he started is the birth. The carnal man's going to finish. That's utter stupidity if we could see it. No, he'll finish it too. Don't expect the world to understand any of this or use it rightly. They won't. See, the part of the blinding judgment is pride. Pride is so severe and carnal that even if it hears good news, it can't allow and accept that it's wrong and deceived about anything. See, that's part of why no one believes, save those that he has mercy on. The pride is in the way. What do we read? His pride is very severe. It's a big deal. He resists the proud. Done. Over. We could talk about that for 10 hours and what kind of effects it has in the world. In reality, they just look at it as trash. It's not seen. It's not perceived. It's not cared about. It's not understood. If someone's prideful continually like this, they have no understanding, period. They don't know the Father, period. You resist them. It's just to discern, we see this pride and we see it again. I mean, it's not a good sign. No acknowledgement, no nothing. You resist the proud. They know not the Father, period. But someone on the narrow way must be overcoming that. Requiring the flesh to do it? No. On the contrary, he needs to do it his way, his time. Slow growth. That's why there is no more condemnation, because they condemn the Creator himself in his way. Oh, this person's not what they need to be. You condemn the Creator because you're saying a little plant needs to be a tree. Not you, anyone who's listening, but someone who's attacking like it will. Give them a natural picture to confound them. That's what they're literally saying if it were manifested naturally. You're screaming at a little tree saying it should be a giant tree in one day. Stupid, carnal, and then they'll see that and get even more angry because they see that the natural picture a carnal man can see, that it makes sense naturally, something about what you're saying, but cannot see what you're saying spiritually. But they'll see the natural thing and see they've done stupidity. Watch them, fury, man. Come with fury. They'll run away and go away. Someone might try to come back once or twice or whatever. Most of the time they go away forever. Maybe after a second, third time, then they go away and they never come back. They don't want to have anything to do with it. They'll do that. You don't have to do it by doing them evil. You don't just wait patient. If someone's attached that need to go away, just ask about it. There will be circumstances and situations, and it'll work itself out somehow and they'll want to go away. You don't have to do evil to them. In fact, they'll go away because you do good. It's the only way they'd have to go away, not because we do evil. They'll go away and never come back. Likely never come back. They won't want to come back. Why would the darkness flees the light? It runs away cowardly. No, it's insecure, it's cowardly, it's immature, it's not receiving attention, needs attention all the time. So that's why look what the results are of being carnal. Goals of becoming great in this world, because I need to be, you could see this lack of love, the lack of the Father, the cure for all the diseases. So then all those that are carnal apart from the Father have to behave and do a certain thing. They're forced. That's the only way it can be, because kid not getting attention has to start doing things that look like it's needing attention. And when it gets it, he doesn't reward it. He punishes it. So then it needs more. And when it gets it, it's punished more. And this is why many people die at 28, 25, 30, or at some point. They're overcome literally by the devil because they increased more and more, and they got destroyed more and more in Hollywood. They're never going to tell you it's actually going on. Skunks, they tell you it's all good. That's evil to do that and lie like that. Say it's good, this is the way, this is the truth, this is the life, this is the goal. Yeah, if you want to be destroyed utterly, quickly, go and do it. Yeah. So they have to apply words in Jesus. Man, I just heard it the other day. Some basketball. They got this crown, this trophy, worldly trophy, because of Jesus. So sick. Yes, Jesus, the Lord God. Time to go away from Jesus and know the true Messiah, Yahushua, the one that keeps the commandments and walks in the heart, that knows the Father, not the devil. But a wicked carnal man that's popular and great and rich in this world, utter enemy, and just casually throwing in Jesus. They want everyone to believe in Jesus. That's what we're witnessing right now. Watch it continue go in that direction. They want to convert everyone to Jesus, the mother church. We were all a little tricked. Just admit it. See, this is not real admit for sin. It's not really admitting or repenting. Looking like it. We were all a little tricked We all have the same God all along. Come together. Oh yeah, it's going on. It's happening. They got false prophets out there saving people by the millions, man. Some of these. They're going everywhere. They're falling backwards from Kundalini spirit, devil spirit, falling backwards, shaking. They're going out converting more than I can even comprehend. It's happening right before our eyes now, just because, tiny little circle we see right here, wherever we are, while we try to get a sight and perspective of what the devil's doing all around the world, getting everyone to believe in the mother of harlot, trying to bring everyone back to the enemy, the God of this world, and like to be in agreement. Trillions of divisions to try to bring it into one. They will try to do it to the end, but it cannot actually be done. This is the end of the Tower of Babel. They built their tower, but it stops. And then there's a miracle that happens. It's called division from the goats and sheep. It's called resurrection. It's called punishment. It's called salvation. It's not going to be allowed. They're going to do it. They're going to do the grand spiritual fulfillment of the natural. Everyone's mind and heart, spirit, just a strong delusion trying to become one. And I see it through Jesus Christ the Lord. Yes, no other name in heaven. That would be the best way to do wickedness, is take his word and have something to do with it and say, this is the Messiah to believe in. We got to get together or else we're going to keep killing each other. While they murder Messiah's people 10 seconds ago, while they murdered Messiah's people 2 days ago, they'll go and say, we got to come together so we don't kill. Let them do what they do. They don't know what that means. They're just speaking delusion. It's just a cover. It's just pretending. There is no meat to it. There is nothing real inside. It's a strong delusion. A scary, strong delusion. Vortex in 20 seconds. What do they want? Devil's getting nervous. So much carnal hates the truth. They get nervous, man. Fearful in a bad way. Fearing good. Running from it. Running from good is the only direction, is to do evil then. Running from evil. Yeah, with our heart, to do good, be set apart. All this world would hate anything that's actually true. You would think that the world would love this. If you put this thing, using it as an example, it's the Father's truth, whatever he's given you, and you put it over on TV for all the world, it would viciously come after to seek and kill and destroy. It would take that down as quick as it could. Yes, all the way to heaven, I know it's true. Even if there's good news in there about all of them, good intentions for them, the devil instantly takes something that's true down. That's why it's laughable to me. There's someone powerful and rich, and they believe in God, Jesus, and they're rich and powerful, and they're good people. No, they're not. This world would bury them. They would never climb in the system like that. He's getting us out of it, let alone getting higher in the system, the ladder of wickedness. They would bury them. Take Messiah and put him in the government somewhere. Dead man. But the Father protects his people, but just to get a point across. Oh, come after and kill and destroy. No way does he accept that, the enemy. He accepts no good or evil, only confusion and delusion. So people can rise because they're in delusion and deceiving people. It doesn't matter that they're divided from another. As long as they're actually in delusion and in and of this world, they can rise. Messiah's people don't rise in this world. They're buried. They're hidden. Fiery words for this wicked world. Good news for them, and they hate it. Let's see what's going on here. Sent you an order. Just a sec. Looks like I have to go. Look how zealous with actual heart the apostle was to do good. He knew Messiah wasn't coming, literally, or something, for salvation just yet. He knew it was a ways out. I know he did. He even says to the ages, if we read the literal word, like glory to the Messiah's people for the ages, and the ages to come, in the future generations, even now in this age. But that's what someone gets when they get a heart from the Father. Doesn't matter what kind. We just happen to be in the latter end of the latter days, anyway. So there's too much proof. There's too much spiritual wickedness in high places that's like manifesting so perfectly. It starts with seeing something wrong, and then it increases so you see it clearly, and then it's more wrong, but it's not actually more wrong. People like foaming at the mouth over like worshiping people, and jumping up and down. I don't care about that act. Not what I'm trying to say, or anyone else that should be speaking truth. Not what we're saying. It's the spiritual spell and delusion to like worship anything but the Creator, and to do it, you have to find something to worship. So that's why it gets so excited. It's all fake. It's proven it to me. It's so crazy. The people in the crowds jumping up and down. I'm just saying what I see. They talk about love a lot in the crowds and all these things. It's not love. It's not at all. They try to look like it. They try to look like it and make themselves look like it. That's happening. But real love, Messiah was real love. Look what happened to him. How come the church world's blind? Can't see this. Real love is hated by this world viciously. So it makes sense even to say that the world's love is not real, because if something is hated that's real, obviously what it proclaims is fake, and it is. He's punished the kings of the earth. I used to see it differently under the spell of powerful people and serpent wisdom. No, they're actually stupid. Get out of there. Don't listen to them. Let them captivate you. People are doing that, coming out of it. They're actually confused, literally, spiritually. They're actually divided, literally, because of his judgment. Not wise and smart. It's worldly, but spiritually. It's actually a fool, but carnally, yeah, it makes itself look wise. That's not what I'm talking about, though. So they've tried to do it to me, like speak of the world as if it's evil. And Christians have gotten offended, even my parents. What's going on? I thought you guys knew the Creator, that anyone friends with the world is an enemy. But no, when they actually see this thing and perceive something real with understanding and belief, theirs was an act. That's why it gets crazy, angry, and confused, and that's a burden to bear, especially people close to you, family, because you want them so badly and you don't get what you want. It's not about getting what we want. So many times he'll just prove it. We don't get what we want. Messiah didn't get what he wanted. Blasphemy. Take this cup from me if there's another way. But not my will, your will be done. Even his own brothers didn't believe in him. He had this family thing problem. Because a man's enemies is that of his own household. Scripture, Messiah quoted. There's a reality to it to be fulfilled for everyone in Messiah. They will have family members that are their enemies spiritually. Don't even know what to do. You just ask what to do. What do you do with it? How do you work it out? You don't work it out for real, but how do you do what's right in the midst of it? I don't, whatever I don't know, I'm finding out. Seen some things, learned some things, still finding out. And it gets worse once they know who you are. The attacking tricks increase. I don't know if it's just going to keep on increasing forever, but they'll never admit it as long as they're carnal. See, you might expect you see something obvious, They try to make you look like you're stupid by strongly rebuking and saying, no, I didn't do that. That's what will happen only. They will never admit anything that the Father shows you they did with their heart and their works. Never. Real things, see? So I'm just saying, don't expect it. You know, if someone was wondering if they should or not, don't expect it. That's what I found out. Don't expect it. That would be a miracle. It would be nice. That would be great, but don't expect it. The world is enemies. That's why people and the Father. You know, friends of the world is to be friends with evil and enemies of the Creator. So plain right before all along. It was just in plain words everywhere. You start perceiving these plain words. That this delusion must be pretty strong if this is not seen what it means and agreed with. That's a strong delusion. Those that are learning and growing in Messiah, they can look at themselves as an example of learning and growing, and so then you can comprehend how it is that how they see things. You can comprehend because you're coming out of it. See what it was, what it was like. You can't forget it's still like people, like fully daily, you know, still like that. But the more time that goes on, it's like getting harder to remember that. It's like forgetting the former thing, like I read. It's like already becoming true, but it will become true still fully. You won't remember that stuff back there. The former times we read it won't be remembered. It's like already happening. I see it. It's getting harder to remember. It looks like it's going in the direction of not remembering. You know, it won't be a big deal at the end. It'll be like, oh, it's as if I don't remember it. That's how strong the healing is. But it's already becoming true. So when someone reads those words, they don't perceive what it means in the church world. It is true already for his people, growing, but it's not true in that it's not complete. It will be complete. But what we read there is the complete thing. Kind of hard to describe anything for the carnal man, you know? Impossible. Talking about things you see in your mind that have been given. It's not seen by them, so there is no amount of words that will work. You like desperately try to do it anyway. Desperately doing what's right. Already knowing and figuring out for myself, the world's not going to believe the message. The world's not going to, you know, the many, the whole of the world. So that already's been through my mind before. Wait a second. It just it starts hitting you eventually. No one's going to like me at all. That's of the world. No one's going to believe what we say. Wait a second. Yeah, that's what happened to Messiah. Why are we doing it? You know, there it is. It reveals pride and selfishness, you know. His works prove the opposite in his people. They'll do the other opposite thing, you know. Instead of doing something with intention for self or whatever other alternative reason, secret or open, it's like the exact opposite. Doing things you know nobody's gonna, who would do that, you know? But also believing that he can save a few, but just knowing that many of this world, who would do that? They must be insane in this world. But yeah, perceiving that the world's not perceiving. Even now, the reward is happening now. It's interesting. It's being stored up. It's like storing up food or something. Someone that's storing food currently is eating food. Obviously, it has food to be able to store it currently, and then storing treasures in heaven for like some greater thing, I guess, something much bigger than each individual thing stored up. It's always true. Reward now, reward in the future. Punishment now, punishment in the future. Life now, life in the future. Death now, death in the future. That's why the end like the apostle says, is destruction. It's no good. But that is the truth, though. And it's always going in destruction, and its end is destruction. But this is seen as evil, as like some monstrous thing that God will, the God of this world. That's what I'm saying. And this destruction is some carnal, wicked, torturing people in fire forever, all eternity. This destruction is understood, will be understood by his people, because they're living the destruction of dying to self, and they're receiving real life. For those that know Messiah, know this to be true. It is true for them. They know what it means for all the others to die, to be destroyed. He's already proving all things to them. He doesn't do anything without proof. No proof, no good. Not good enough. It's no proof. It's not real. You can prove it. But he doesn't prove things to carnal night and day. There's no in between. Either someone has and is growing, or they don't and they're not. So the carnal will do certain things and live a certain way. See? For those that don't know, they'll always live in a certain way of looking for proof, demanding it, stuff like that. Warms. It's that heart. It's God's way to do that. It's just the way it is. Who can deny it? Well, they will deny, because it's okay with lying and not understanding any time at all. It's okay to do that. It's not okay for us. It's seen in heaven. 2 or 3 witnesses. That came to mind one day. Wait a second. But before it was 2 or 3 witnesses. Here's the shortcoming of the natural thing. It takes 2 or 3 literal witnesses to receive a stoning of adultery. What if nobody saw it literally, naturally? They got away. Wait, is there a reality of getting away from real? No, but look to see the weakness of the natural only. Is that's not the greater thing anyways. It's the adultery part that's the great thing. As if they get away if someone doesn't see it. Right, that's the carnal way, and it thinks it can get away. If nobody sees it, it's not sin. He's teaching it. He shows me. It's crazy. It's amazing. But not in heaven. Messiah and the witness is at the very least. But take for witnesses for every single thought and into the heart, judged and seen without any fail at all. Adultery in the gotcha, right to the face. Stealing in the mind, boom, 2 witnesses at the very least. See, never getting away with anything now, the real sin. So then the spiritual can't think like the carnal, getting away from sin. They already know there's no reality to it. If I sin, I'm going to get punished. If I sin, I'm in trouble. But do something on purpose, that's intention to, that's what he breaks us from. So there's certain works we shouldn't see. It's like these desperate with intention to kill and destroy someone. We can't be seeing that with these people. You make mistakes, sins, not knowing all these things. But to see a certain thing, it's not good when it's seen, because I know in heaven spiritually, see, they didn't get away, stoned to death spiritually. Those works require stoning. So they're just continually dead. I see those works, and it's like more than once, it's 2 or 3 witnesses purposely like chasing to destroy. This could come in all kinds of forms. It's not good. Very bad. That must not be a brother. It must be an enemy trying to destroy, kill, steal. Just like I read the devil can only do. But see, the natural requires 2 to 3, because the words are right. Teaching and what it really means is right. Now we got to perceive the heavenly real thing of 2 or 3 witnesses. He will not be found stupid at any point. We'll never confound him ever. Someone thinks, It's them that are still confused about something, not the Father, not the Son, not so. So in heaven, in spirit, in spirit someone's face, or rebuke him to their face. It's like having him right there. The carnal won't perceive that, but it's real anyways. There's witnesses for everything. Every sin in the heart is being judged and punished. Now, okay, I gotta go. Please take your seat above.